This is the Situation Room this Friday, rounding out the week after quite some that has happened here and there. And you feel like maybe, okay, so I wasn't quite connected. Well, let me tell you how you can be connected, isn't it? Right? We deal with facts. And here's one. Safaricom home fiber means reliable internet all day, every day. 5G. What do you need to do? You need to spend 2,999 shillings. And then you won't even worry because you will be connected all day, every day, wherever it is that you're going, wherever it is that you may land. You don't have to worry about whether you will lose your connection. You will have seamless experiences with internet. Are there dead zones in your house? Not anymore. Are you working from home? Do you have online classes? Is family entertainment a priority? Well, Safaricom 5G home fiber is the way to go. And you can get that from any masoko.com. You can get that from any Quickmart. You can then get the router that you need and be ensured that 5G will take you where you need to go for your learning, for your entertainment, everything across board. And that's what we're talking about today. And with just that 2,999, you plug, you play, and you don't have to ever worry about not being connected. All right, we're getting into another conversation this morning. Into and Josephat with you this morning as we get into conversations. Joining us this morning as we say, lest we forget, and we take the week into review. The Member of Parliament for Naivasha is Jayne Kihara. She joins us this morning. Good morning, Mheshimiwa.
Good morning, and thank you for having me. I think I've not been here before.
You have never been here before, and there is a first time for everything. Yes. And it happens to be that July 25th is the first time for that to happen.
Okay, I've come to this complex.
But not in this studio.
Not in this studio.
On this show.
Yeah.
And we welcome you.
Asante-san.
You're in the good company of someone who has been on this show before. Jamatia Zirigone is the women representative of Baringo. Good morning, Mheshimiwa.
Morning. Good morning to you.
How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
To both of you. We will be looking at the week in review and saying, essentially, lest we forget. It's been an interesting one for everyone, including you, Mheshimiwa Kihara.
Mine is a climax.
Okay. But even as we get into that, let's do something that we normally do here. And we want to welcome you today to the show with today's proverb. We want to hear your interpretation of it. Today, the Proverbs, or this week, they've come out of Senegal, country in West Africa. The Dakar was known for the longest time, in addition to Abidjan, as the Paris of West Africa. And here we are with this proverb, and we'd like to hear what you think about it. Only a true friend knows your real worth. Only a true friend knows your real worth. We'll start with you, Mheshimiwa Kihara.
I think it's just it. It's just it. I think it's self-explanatory. A true friend, you have kept that friend because they know your value. I think I don't have much more to it because I thought it's self-explanatory.
There you go.
Okay.
I think only a true friend knows your
worth.
Almost self-explanatory, true, but it is the things you do with people that people know you about. Yeah,
that they know you for. Very true. All right. As we get into these conversations this hour, it's been an interesting week, and of the things that we see that happen politically here and there, and then we often have to ask ourselves the questions, the direction in which nations are going, and the directions in which the people would want the nation to go. So we're ending this conversation this week on a political one, and we'll start with you, Mheshimiwa. At a time like this last week, you had come off of an arrest for maybe issues that maybe not too many people are very clear about in terms of what happened. But then you did come out and say some things after that you were not ready or willing to let the nation to continue to go in the direction in which it went.
First and foremost, they really didn't know why they wanted to arrest me.
Oh, they didn't know?
Because initially, the charges they put for me were declared. The charge was declared unconstitutional in 2016. So when my counsel responded to that effect, they had to look for another one. So this other one was incitement.
Okay.
Again, they didn't know where I incited, who I incited, where I was. So that is why when we went to court, and please don't push me there because I'm still in court.
Understood.
It's that I should not take plea because according to my counsels, if you don't know why you're charging me, then why should I take a plea? So that's where we left it.
Okay.
And of course, I came out on a personal bond of 50,000 shillings. And I told them I'll continue even if they put me again. Because whatever they think I've said, usually I don't incite. Usually I don't say things that I have not really checked. So this is just intimidation and political persecution because of my political stand.
The political swords have been drawn. Usually we see this drawing of swords closer to an election, and then different things will be said by different quarters. Many would say that the sword drawing has happened well in advance. Is it time, or is there ever a time where political sides can then be decided upon and then we move, and it's not permanent?
I think it's not time, unfortunately, but the leadership of the country have started it. So if you start, we follow. You know, our president has been on the sunroof for the longest. And if you want to slow the country down, you are the only one who can do it. Because we just finished elections. We went round. And immediately we settled in again. We are again on the sunroof. So we follow.
You followed him then?
Yes.
You followed him then?
Yes.
You followed the president when he went on elections. And
Yes.
And you supported
Yes, very
this
much.
particular administration.
I still don't regret. I don't regret. I think I did the right thing because that is what I was supposed to do democratically. I was campaigning for my president to get to the office. But when he got to the office, I thought he was going to sit in the office and work. But again, he's again on the sunroof. So we follow. Maybe this time we are not following the same line. Maybe that is the only difference. But there we are.
When Shivajibatia, we've seen, I mean, it's true, there has been a lot of campaigning, across board. There's been a lot said, and many would argue that there's less work done than what is said. What is your opinion? Just take this week alone. Yeah. We don't even have to go beyond July 20th. There are things that happen every day. There are things that are said that would give a picture of where things are politically. What's your take?
Thank you so much, Andu, again. I mean, being in Kenya is in a political arena many times is a very interesting and difficult time. And I want to say that especially, I want to also say, sorry for my colleague who was arrested, but this is politics, and sometimes I was also arrested at some point during the last regime. But that does not mean also that it is always a good thing to drum up charges all the time. But maybe, as you said, it's in court. We look forward to what really she was charged. But politics in Kenya, I think everyone wakes up and do politics every day in this country. And it is sometimes true that politicians are so much apolitical, and we have created this society to be so much apolitical. But also the people who are the electors guide many times and push leaders to see everything politically, because we are charged all the time on the things we do. As you say, whether many things are said and many things are not done. I mean, we do things every day. Work is
going on?
Yeah, going on. We chew the gum as we do all this. It's a societal Kenyan democracy, We are always charged, pushing things politically and always abrasive. Now, if you are a member of parliament or a leader, politician, you have almost a rough time because of the expectations.
Of whom?
From the people,
Okay.
expectations from the leaders, even as expectation from the leaders to the people. You know, as much as we legislate, are we doing what the legislation and the laws gives us? Like we were going for mandamano, did you follow the rules that when you protest or you go to demonstrations? Did you protest peacefully? Did you abide the law? And all those, you know, the activities of the day culminates to positive and negative results as you know, as it comes. And we have seen the emboldenment is becoming more. The more we go for these mandamanos, and it is coming out to be ventilation of issues in very wrong way. If you are sitting as a leader, you feel like this is not the right way to do.
Okay.
And that is why many of us and colleagues, I mean, are arrested, being viewed to be of a different descent, and probably encouraging those, especially the distractions that happened during the month. And it is culmination of what we do every day. Yes.
How should ventilation happen? And I guess it's for both of you. How should ventilation happen of issues around, you know, whether it's dissatisfaction in terms of governance and leadership, whether it's, that we think we look at the word protest sometimes, and we throw a negative, tint on it. And
yes.
When a child cries, it protests.
Yes.
When a child is crying, it's protesting against hunger.
Yes.
It's protesting against an uncomfortable situation.
Something,
There's
yeah.
something that's
Yes,
right.
yes, yes,
And
yes.
that's the cry is protest.
Yes.
You know, we protest every single day
Exactly.
in everything that we do.
Yes.
But now when we look at protests towards government, why does it take such a negative tinge all the time now?
I think for the longest, protest in the world has been always there. And states defined it differently. There are states that gives guidance on where to protest and how to do it. If you look at the protest that has been happening in regimes before, ultimately, people go to the streets, but they'll always have a memorandum to say this is what we want to do, or we want leaders to give us, or to give us opportunity because of this and this and this. But we are now in the protests of social media and internet world, which now becomes different because people hide there, and there is the difference between 90s to 2000s and now is the progress of the numbers, which means numbers in terms of the wider view who sees the protest. We now have live protests, live coverages during protests, and they never used to happen before. So the biggest difference is, for me, protest is there, and it's a genuine way to express yourself as a human being. Even if I have a problem in my house or my family, there's always a way of, but does not mean to distract, because to destroy, the process. There should always be a solution afterwards.
Okay.
And that is where we always have the problem. In this era nowadays, the culmination becomes more destructive, and the cause is to not even have time to sit and sort out the problem that you are trying to protest against, and even give opportunity to the people you are protesting against.
Well,
Yes.
this is interesting because I'm looking at both of you today.
Yep.
And 3 years ago, you were on the same political front, well grounded in the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, which was to transform the country, more so economically, for opportunities for everyone, which perhaps if that was happening, would have averted the protestations we're talking about. Today, as you assess, how would you place yourself, or the government, the regime, in terms of the economic transformation that we promised the country, which is also spurring now the protest?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you ask me, considering where we came from, right from picking up from the previous administration, we have done so much. It is only that the noise is so much, and the work, pronunciation on how people talk about what this government has done is quite low. But if you look at it keenly, considering it's only 2 years and a half, we find this government when it was almost in its knees. By then there was no money. The debt were all the way to 9 trillion, post Uhuru. And to restructure that back, it needed a lot of discipline. And as much as the idiosyncrasy of the president is different, the personalities of presidents and people, even here at workplace, people do and see things differently. Is that for him, he wanted to engage more to the people, and probably that is where people think he's not doing so much. But if you look at the workplace, the things he has done, the progress that he has done, like the housing, the SHA, the employment of teachers, and on many things, it might not be a one-off, and growth is very slow. For you, sometimes you might want to wake up in the morning and think the government should be doing this, but you have to give it time. Like for instance, if you look at I'm just giving an example of expressway. We used expressway in 2022, but the expressway was built for 5 years.
Yes.
But we are enjoying it now. But if someone said at that time, if you go back to Uhuru's time, Uhuru was pushed to the corner, and every time he's trying to explain something, it was always against him. But later on, people are even saying he did something, and it's human nature. People don't appreciate you so much when probably unless you're out of the space, and then
Jayne Kihara, is it an issue of waiting?
Let me say this. I'm one of those protesting because I went around this country and we overpromised, if not overlied. We did a lot of lies.
Intention? Did you know you were lying at the time?
No, we didn't know.
Oh, you didn't know you were lying at the time?
We didn't know because we thought that President Ruto had the solutions of this country where we were. And we were looking forward. Someone like me was really looking forward. But I remember there was a time I asked him, Mr. President, we have worked so hard, you are going to get this seat from where I sit. And the youth of this country are so optimistic. They're really looking forward. Just tell me. Because, of course, I've been around. I know how many youth we have. Every year we have got children getting out of school. Every year, each and every year. So I knew there were very many. Just tell me, Your Excellency, what program do you have for the youth? The answer I got me scared. Because it was just simply, Jayne, hawa tutawapanga. That was not convincing. I didn't know what to say. And then here we are. We want to talk about big projects, housing. And housing is not employment. Because eventually it's going to end. You're not going to build a house forever. So you're telling me that you have employed people to do a project in housing. It will end at some stage.
Right.
So the priorities are wrong, if you ask me. Because, and my colleague knows, people have got problems, real problems. I was expecting never to do a harambe for medical because of the way we had talked about the SHA. Unfortunately, my colleague says it's working. I can tell you it's not working. If you have to pay for the whole year because you've got flu, you want to go to the hospital and you cannot get treatment because you have not paid your 6,000, then that tells you somebody is out of touch. You really don't know what people are ailing from. Look at the school. The news today is that
defunding education, essentially, right? What are we looking at? I mean, if you can just give it that, there will not be enough money to send capitation for school.
Politics, if you really do not know what you want, because sometimes I think you just want to tell somebody something so that you get where you want to go. And then when you get there, you don't know how you want to start it. I will tell you, this CS, Bandi, who told us that the government will not be able to fund this. He's on record saying that the Kenya Kwanza government, when he was not there, doesn't know what it wants, because it's cutting the capitation, the education is going down. But now here he is, he's on this other side. So he's so dishonest now to tell us, or maybe honest now. I don't know which is which. Telling us the government is not going to be possible. It is not going to be able to fund education. So where are we?
No,
in 2003.
Yes.
In 2003, when Kibaki brought free primary education, there are some guys in Kanu who thought this was not going to be possible. And in fact, I know one minister who told me they thought it can't work. And that is why they were so stuck in Kanu, because Kibaki will not do it. He got to do it because he structured it. Not knee-jerk decisions.
Yes.
You know, it is you sit down and get the right people.
Plan and communicate.
Plan and communicate so that people know. Now, what is happening now, people are so worried because this is not anything they expected.
So when you look at from where you sit, because you're still an active member of parliament,
Yes.
both of you as Kenyans, we rely on you for legislation to guide and call the government to order where it is necessary within your mandate. There is the element, as the Honorable Jamatia says, of waiting for projects to mature. But if they were really impactful and the Kenyans can see, why is the government having a hard time explaining? Why do they even need to explain to Kenyans if all what you're doing is fruitful and beneficial? Because people are citing misuse of funds, hefty and ending borrowing, but the utilization of the resources is not being felt even in your own constituency. Where is the discord?
You know, it looks like we have got it all wrong, or we didn't mean it. Some of us meant it because we were following a leader who we thought had all the answers. That's what I said. But immediately we got in. In fact, I asked him myself. I asked Mr. President, we have just gone round promising. I thought you would now sit in the office and do some work, but now you're on the sunroof. So people are going to call you a liar. You know what he told me? Jayne, you remember Omo with Powerform? Yes, what about it? Omo with Powerform, you repeat and repeat and repeat. Omo is still around? That is an answer I got.
Well,
Okay, so was it a lie? Honorable Jamatia,
Yes.
one wants to bring the question back, because one of the things that you did say earlier was that things are working, the president is working, the government is working. Let's ask that we talk about, we talk about education having the best model, yet we have universities closing down. We talk about free education that clearly is no longer free, and many would argue that it never was. We have been living a lie, is what the CS essentially told us. That you will not be able to, the government will not be able to fund education to the level at which it was. And even then, it was not fully.
Yeah.
And we are going towards a place where parents already struggling will have to dig. I don't even know where this hole is going to be found.
Yes.
But yet, we see opulence in other areas. And we have to ask questions then about, is it truly the real situation, or have much needed funds been misprioritized, which then gives way to things like impunity, mismanagement, lack of accountability?
Thank you so much. I like the way Honorable Jayne has just said the homo. It just remind me of the advert. But let's talk about education. There was an 844 education, and it took many Kenyans through. When the president, Kibaki, became the president, first thing he introduced this free education. But free is, you can have quantity, and the quality in free, it's relative. What Kibaki did, the idea that the free education was going to work was good. But the sustainability, because it did not also give us the opportunity to know where will we be sustaining this. Until when President Uhuru brought the CBC, which is more expensive than 844, and there was a one CBE or something before. Because if you look at 844, churning people from school, or children or pupils or students from school throughout, without necessarily, when you introduce the free, you should also guide through the free model. You are giving a free education in primary, but we are still depending on the taxes. And all these taxes is also part of the development that you're going to do as a country. But the free, what do you get from this free education? Do you get the quality of the students? Because when it is free, many times it is not good.
Are we saying that if it's being paid for, then suddenly the quality of education?
And let me tell you, we give bursaries to students. For instance, I want to get to a very good shortcut. We give bursaries to children or students who go to school, but you realize when we pay most of these bursaries, parents have no longer have responsibility to even know whether their children work hard in school.
I want to be very clear on this point.
Because
that you're saying that with this now defunding of education, because we can color it whatever, but that's what's happening. Education is being defunded. What are we saying that now that parents will have to pay some more for children to go to school, that we will then see the increase in quality of education delivered across the country?
I'm not saying that there is defunding of education. I didn't say that. But I was coming from a history where free education gave us a quantity more of a quality set-up society, where it was easy to churn out people who have finished school, but did not have quality. Because when it is free, many people always have this laissez-faire that it is government to do it. People, if you go to public schools, for instance, today, you realize even many parents easily take their children to private schools because they think private school has more model to organize their children for better future. But they leave this public to public. I mean, no one is easily questioning. And if you go to a school, public school, and you look at the setup of the school, for instance, you can tell me, even if it is free, many times the children that come out of that school do not get the best quality of education, because when it is free, people don't always consider it like it is a quality.
I'd like to ask Jamatia. You see, education, provision of education, quality and accessible education is a basic right in our constitution.
Exactly.
And that's a responsibility of the government.
Yes.
Are we now trying to tell Kenyans that they have to pay to access their right of quality education? Yet the responsibility...
Kenyans are already paying for schools anyway. If you look at it keenly, many Kenyans prefer taking their children to private schools.
Because of the poor conditions.
Exactly. It is a poor condition because the initiators, the proponents of free education, did not put guidelines properly. Like, how many schools should we have? What is the structure of a school? What is all these qualities that we have in a school that makes a child who goes to a free primary school, to get this quality?
But you cannot dissect
all these factors. As you come in, all these factors are vis-a-vis the population of an area.
Exactly.
So when you do allocation of funds, it should be upon you to know that this is what is required. And today we are even looking at allocation of resources to ghost schools that do not exist.
We lack the goodwill to run this country,
right?
If you ask me.
Yes.
And I think Ndus talked about opulence and wastage, and corruption and building churches. Instead of prioritizing that child. That child needs to go to school, and you must know, the population of your children. You know where you must plan.
Right.
there is no plan. We called our manifesto the plan. But this plan, nobody cares. It was just a name, sexy name, plan. We are going to plan for this country. But then we have not seen anything now being planned. We have seen these who are near power now, they are not even buying cars. They are buying choppers. They are going in choppers. Somebody who had only one car now has a chopper. This money, big money deal. You want to have all the money for yourself. You cannot think right. You cannot think right for this country. These children, especially the ones that you are now seeing on the street, if there was something happening that they could see, yes, the president is trying. The way when you are in a kitchen, that child, you stop crying because they have seen you are doing something, you are waiting for something. But now there they are. They were promised. Nothing is happening. Nothing is cooking. If anything, investors are moving out of this country. So they don't see a future. And let's not cheat ourselves. Don't tell me about a housing project when we don't have something to eat. Families are sleeping without food. Primary schools, they can't pay hospital bills. Yes, yet you're telling us here, SHA, it will be. We cannot wait to get sick when the SHA is working, and we don't know when it's going to work. I think things are not working, and we just have to believe that something has to be done. Somebody has to sit down and say, we've got it wrong here, and we must get it right.
But then, needs to be done, in your opinion? What is that somebody needs to do?
It's just the leadership.
Yes.
The buck stops with the president. What is it that you had for this country? Those things that were flowing in us,
which you resonated with.
We resonate. What happened to them? Just do what you told people. I think just do it.
Yes.
Because it resonated very well with us. Because it was nice.
Yes.
We as to how you are going to get there, that is something else. Maybe some like I told you, I asked because there was a time I thought, hii hapa tumeongea sana, lakini I want to know how.
Yes.
You see?
Yes.
So if that plan is not going to be implemented, we go to other things.
Now we are 3 years into this regime.
Yes. Yes.
Someone would argue, albeit too late for any substantial change. Do we as Kenyans, should we have any hope of the economic transformation in this term that ends on August of 2027?
Okay. Of course we have hope every day. Like we go to church every day and we told you Jesus is coming. It's hope. I mean, funny. From where I sit and a colleague and my friend here, Jayne, there was only one president who would do, or probably two presidents who would do things expressly the way they would wish, and it could happen. That was President Moi, because of the constitution, and President Kibaki. It doesn't matter whether you are the best president in Kenya today. With the constitution that we have, it is almost impossible for you to expressly do things the way you want. And I want to give my reasons.
And an example, if you don't mind.
Number one is the counties. The allocation of the money, and that is why when Kibaki used to give directions on roads to be built, schools to be enacted, and free education, he would do it from a national level because he was the executive. And it was a whole, source of power at that time. Every directive the president gives was supposed. But this time, through the constitution, you have the counties that they have to do most of the work, which is now enfranchised. If you are a president of this country today, and you are giving out, and we do a budget, 500 billion Kenya shillings goes to the counties. And these counties are segmented, so divided, and so, the tapestry is so much and so different that a governor will sit and do what they think it is theirs. So from the national level, we will always be complaining about the president not doing this, But the people who are supposed to be, who have actually been resourced are the counties.
So you're saying essentially the buck doesn't stop with the president?
Only. It doesn't stop the president only. It is stop also from leaders like probably constituency members of parliament, for instance.
MPs?
Because they're also given some quite sizable amount of money to do the development. As much as the biggest problem also we have is when we elect, every 5 years we go for election. And that is why I say it's not going to be easy. Anyone who is coming as a president or any leader, specifically president in Kenya today, is because the money is no longer sitting in the national level. Most of the money is jammed down. And the problem is when we go for elections, we don't elect people who can help us manage these monies.
Okay, let's take a break at this point. We're talking with Naivasha Member of Parliament Jayne Kihara, as well as Baringo Women Rep Jematia Sirgon, and we're asking questions this morning, and it seems like the week that was, lest we forget, certain things seem to be just, finding their way through the cracks. We'll come back after the break and continue for the few minutes that we'll have, because then a way forward needs to be found. The president asked expressly the other day, okay, fine, if you say Ruto must go, how are you going to do what you're going to do if you were in that position? We'll come back from this and talk about that. When I remind you that you need to go to your Google Play Store or Apple App Store and download the Loop app. It's not just an app, it actually is a lifestyle. Go to the Grow tab, click on that and apply for your quick loan of up to 100,000 shillings. And you don't have to worry about hidden charges or interest, and you can get to do that thing which brings itself as an emergency every now and then. And you can pay back in 30 days. So you take a picture of that application, send it to our socials. We'll tell you in a minute who's going to win that 5,000 shillings as you get into the weekend with Loop. Not just an app, it's a lifestyle.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
Dial star 811 star 914 hash to get this as your skiza tune. KTN, ndio home.
You start with the architecture, it's exemplary. Every spot here is a viewpoint.
Through these glass windows,
Yes.
you're gonna tell me, is that the Yatta Plateau
That is
I'm
the Yatta
spotting?
Plateau. Yes.
One of the facts that I learned about Machakos is that it was actually the very first capital
Oh, yes.
city of Kenya.
Have you heard about a lazy river?
I've not heard about the lazy river to
You
explorers,
are
and I
just
think
about to see one.
If you're an octo-vegetarian, lacto-vegetarian, pescatarian, we have everything on the menu.
I bring you to County 016. This is Machakos County, the place that definitely will reset you.
Every now and then, fake news might pull a few strings, but when it comes to reporting the facts, there's only one tune we dance to, our own. For more than 100 years, The Standard has delivered insightful, fact-based journalism, and you can't fake that.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
Is Jematia Sirgon, and we're having this question. The things that happened this week will point us into the directions that we are in. We're not at a loss in terms of quantity when it comes to that. One of the questions that the president asks, because the things that we say, the things that you've alluded to, Mheshimiwa Kihara, he knows. He's heard that, the buck stops with him many, many times. He went on this week to ask the question, all right, if you're saying that I must go, if you or anybody else who is in that position, what would you do to make the situation better? Coming off the backdrop of all the things that we see that seem to be going south, and then in some cases are actually going south.
First and foremost, you need to know what is ailing the country, and then you know where to start. You cannot start from the top if the problem is at the bottom. And the bottom is the people. For example, a country is run through taxes. Mm-hmm. Here we are now we are being told the e-citizen taxes, nobody knows where they're going. That means corruption is number one. So you must fight corruption. And corruption is at every level. In the government, may it be county, may it be where. It has to be fought by all means. This is something that has can cripple this country, because if it's not addressed at whatever level, then nobody takes responsibility of doing anything. When there are these tenders, in this government, if you hear a system is going to change, we want to move from NHIF to SHA, then definitely there is a deal there. Somebody is getting a deal there. That is what happens. Because the English says, if it's working, don't fix it.
Mm-hmm.
So we are fixing everything.
When there was no problem.
Or do it gradually so that it sinks in me and you, so that, yes, this is the right thing. Let's have some piloting of some kind. So that then we are sure we are going in the right direction.
And yet, even with the new SHA model, we have lost billions of money.
Exactly.
And then the reason for changing from NHIF to SHA was corruption. So what changed?
Look at this Hasra Fund. Hasra Fund, there's so much laws. I remember us in Parliament being asked now to write off what has not been paid, and we replenish. What kind of business is this we are doing? It really... I don't have to be the president, but at least I know when things are going wrong.
Honorable Kihara, is there hope for our economy in this regime? Or should Kenyans prepare for tough times and probably...
I don't see it. I don't see it because there's no goodwill. We have gone back to campaign instead of sitting and fixing the economy.
Right.
You have heard Mheshimiwa Nyoro saying what has been going on.
Yes, the
unfortunately,
yes.
Unfortunately, he's saying it now out there. So it is money making for the powerful people.
Okay.
Yes.
Honorable Jamatia, and to you, it would appear a bit, some Kenyans would argue, or most of them actually, hence the revolt, is a bit short-sighted to try and blame the current setup of the constitution that we have the national and the county government. The president could be having difficulty running the country because of the devolution aspect of it. Yet, he was a deputy president for 10 years.
Yep.
And when he was running for presidency, he knew exactly the current setup of the constitution, the governance that we have in the country.
Yes.
So, didn't you find it about a bit of a double speak? He knew, and now trying to say cannot deliver.
Saying that it's not easy to be a leader now because of the counties. It's not the president saying that. It is me. That is my opinion.
All right.
And that's why sometimes it's very easy to just complain and blame or apportion blame all the time.
Yeah.
But if you sit down properly and look at where the rain started beating Kenyans, for me, it's the constitution. Because we adopted this constitution that is so advanced, that is so un-African, that is not a constitution that takes into consideration the level of our development in a country. That is my opinion. And that is why sometimes, it is good when you also retrospect as a person and ask yourself, what really happened? Because we used to do things, we were basic Africans in our rural homes, we were doing our thing, until we were told, for you as a voter today, you need to vote for president, deputy president, governor, deputy governor, senator, MCA, women rep, MP, and all those kind of people. And then you have also these constitutional officers that you're supposed to pay through your tax as a person or as a voter, the constitutional officers, all of them. And all these 47 counties have mirrored the national or executives of the presidency. So at the end of the day, the monies that a Kenyan hands, like if it is 50,000, for instance, half of it is going to the taxes. And not because of anything. It is because of the system. And this system was borrowed.
I'm hearing you say, Mheshimiwa, and I just want to be clear.
Yes.
That you're saying that what has essentially handicapped the president is the constitution under which he swore to uphold and protect.
Exactly.
That this very same thing is handicapping him from doing...
No, I'm not saying he's handicapping him. He can do... I mean, just like when my colleague said, he has a problem with seeing the president always on sunroof. I think it's a concern because we would all, she would probably expect him to sit down and let things flow and let people work. Now we have a president here, but we have governors that they are also supposed to be doing their bit.
Devolution is not a novel thing. Devolution has been in existence in this country for 14 years now. So when the president came into the presidency, he was well aware that devolution that is practiced and entrenched through counties and the governorship, that it existed. So if he knew that this was a throttling experience,